Okay, welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. Roll Tide. Hope you're having a fabulous week. My kids are on spring break, so you will hear them in the background. And they are the hellacious bunch of kids you've ever heard in your life, and out of control, screaming, crying. That'll probably be my wife, and you may occasionally hear one of my kids. But this is just a mess here around my house. I hope y'all having a great, great day. So Isabel got selected as an alternate. Well, that sucks, Isabel. I mean, why do you want to be an alternate on the jury duty, man? I would want to be the full blown thing.
I got lucky actually. I was able to select to be an alternate, so that way I only had to do it for 1 month instead
Oh,
of April, May, and June.
oh
And
wow.
that's like pretty much all of the summer for Alaska. So I kind of want to enjoy my summer.
Yeah, well, that's good. So you only got to do that for a month as an alternate, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's not bad. Yeah, I could be a full time juror. I just love it, sitting there. I mean, if they would provide me with a Diet Coke and popcorn, I could sit there and listen to that stuff all day long on some of these cases. It's really kind of cool.
Yeah. If I wasn't going to school, I would totally do it too.
Oh, yeah. But the little thing about school gets in your way, right? So,
Yeah.
yeah, that's good. Um, Kaylin, didn't Kaylin say that she wanted to do real estate? Kaylin, if you're going to Guam, how are you going to do real estate? You going to Guam? You got to be careful where you buy your real estate. Then,
So I've told you guys we're military. So one of the things that I've actually been wanting to get into is like real estate for single sailors.
mm-hmm.
So in here in Washington and also when we were in Connecticut, the barracks were so limited and they were basically pushing people out, like the single sailors out to go live off base because they didn't have enough space on base in the barracks to keep them. And so that was something that my husband and I were talking about with a lot of the guys that are on his boat, is they're being forced out of the barracks and they have to go move out in town, and they have these crazy, like our rent for apartments is really high here and it doesn't quite cover what they make. But if we could set up some kind of like almost like a community property with lots of little tiny houses rather than, like an apartment building. I don't know, something in that area. As far as Guam goes, we haven't actually been there yet, so I don't know if that plan would work. But ideally, it would probably turn into something like where we just buy a house to live in, and then when we move, just rent it out that way. But I don't know yet.
The only thing that I would be concerned about with doing the military housing is if, God forbid, they close the base, right? And you've got these one bedroom tiny places, that are there that what would happen in that case. So you got a little bit of risk there, I guess. I don't know if there's a way to know what bases are on closing lists, things of that nature.
I don't know. I know we have, I want to say like 20, maybe not that many, maybe 15 submarines, and then a whole bunch of surface ships and surface ships that get like built here. So they would have to like relocate all of that stuff.
Okay, so you're thinking that it's there for a good long term. So that's good.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
we've got an Air Force, we've got an Army base, we've got Navy, we've got Marines.
so a lot of
That's
stuff would
just
have to
here.
close.
Yeah.
Okay, good. I like that idea. So when are you going to do it? I mean, what you waiting on? What's the problem?
We're we're up for re-enlistment next spring. So that, and I'm just trying to get like all of our current bills and stuff paid off. We have one car that's left. We owe like 10,000 on it. So I want that paid off, and other than that, we won't have any like extra miscellaneous expenses that we're trying to, you know, do. So I want to focus on one thing at a time. And right now I'm focusing on getting all of our debt cleared, and then my little bit of investing just to get the wheels going and my brain going.
Okay.
So yeah.
Well, I just want you to take steps toward that dream. The big killer of dreams is time, and
Mm-hmm.
allowing time to go. And the next thing you know, you're 5 years down the road and you haven't done anything toward the dream. So,
I'm kind of hoping that once we get moved, that maybe the like housing market will start to, go down, and we won't be looking at 6, 7, 8% interest rates. And yeah, I was wanted to pick your brain too about if you've done anything with like paying people's property taxes and then, them not paying and you acquiring that house. Like, I've
been to a lot of tax sales, and it's really favorable because in Georgia, I think the interest rate that they have to pay you on that money is like 20% even. So, definitely something to look into. I've never actually bought one, but I've been to the auctions, right, where they'll crown and for the tax. There's not a lot of them around here, and generally what does come up are vacant lots in homeowner association things that I would never want to be a part of anyway. But yeah, check on what the laws are in your area. But certainly, yeah. And you would be surprised, y'all, that, like, for example, my father-in-law passed away a couple of years ago, and we still need to sell his property. And I'm glad you brought it up. So last year, I remember I was like, oh, crap, I need to go pay the property taxes on that property, right? And you just made me think about it this year. I'm like, I got to go pay it again this year. And so and it's like, $60 or something. It's just vacant land, but I need to do that. But a lot of times you have these things where people just forget to pay, and it could be years down the road. And next thing you know, the county is selling that. So are there a lot of them in your area? Have you checked the legal organ, the legal newspaper, to see any of those advertised?
Not really here. Our housing is so limited just because we have so many families coming and going constantly that getting a house, like houses stay on the market maybe 10 days. And
oh, wow.
Anything foreclosures, like all that stuff, it's scooped up.
Okay. But yeah, foreclosures, tax sales, those are all great things of acquiring property. And did we talk about REOs, real estate owned? That's where it goes back to the bank or the lender. And so you can check with HUD, you can check with Fannie Mae. There's all kind of properties out there that those guys, we used to put bids in on HUD homes. So the property foreclosed, no one got it. HUD took over the property. And the federal government, ladies and gentlemen, is a horrible property manager. So I always got really good deals buying things from HUD for cheap. We could buy, they needed deferred maintenance, of course, but we got some really great HUD homes. And I was a broker, so I had the real estate key. I could go in and look at them at any time. And, that's something too, Kaylin, you might want to look at too, is maybe if you're going to be in a place for a while, maybe getting your real estate license. A lot of the states have reciprocal agreements too, right? So if you're licensed in Alabama, you can file a reciprocal license with Georgia. So, some of the areas that you travel, but I always wanted to get my real estate license because I was able to share in the commissions of all the houses and properties that I was buying and selling. I don't know. There's some downside to it too, because I always had to disclose, hey, anytime, even if I bought my own house, right, I'm a licensed real estate professional in the state of Georgia, blah, 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 blah. And so you're held to a higher level. But it was so good because I could get realtors that would talk with me, right? I was one of them. So they would tell me things behind the scenes that, they would not tell just Joe Blow public. So maybe something you want to look into. You thought about that?
I have actually, my husband has as well, but I hadn't really gotten to that point yet. It was kind of like finish my bachelor's and then now it's finish my master's. So maybe once I get this finished, then I also really like the idea of teaching finance at community colleges. So I feel like I've heard that you get a discount on classes if you're taking them and teaching there. So maybe I can.
Hell, they ought to make it free, right? If you're teaching,
right.
Teaching there, they ought to, let you get free education. That would be great. Yeah. So check into that, So in other words, what we're talking about today, I wanted to talk to you guys about is, starting your own business or side hustle. Do you know the one thing that will prevent you from doing your business or side hustle? And you may have heard this, and I guess I'm paraphrasing the thing, is that the biggest obstacle to most people starting their business or side hustle is you think it must be perfect. And perfection is the enemy of just good enough. So, you're never, Kaylin, going to be in the perfect scenario for you to start your real estate empire, right? You're going to have to go out on faith and take small baby steps to get there. But don't wait until everything is perfectly aligned for you to start that business endeavor. I want you to make sure that you're moving toward that prior to every planet lining up, or you'll never do it. You'll never do it. Well, I'm going to do it after this. I'm going to do it after this. I'm going to do it after this. Start taking the steps to prepare you for that. And that goes with any of you. You want to, say you want to teach at a community college. Go ahead and start putting feelers in now. The only reason that I'm teaching at the University of Alabama is because I kept in contact with Miss Pentecost, and I was like, hey, I'm working on my PhD. If y'all ever need somebody to teach, hey, let me know. And she remembers I was a great student, and I would keep in touch with her and, through the things. And so sure enough, when they had a little opening, she said, hey, we're looking for somebody. And so, that's how I teach this class now. So, network with people. Go ahead and, stop by the community college. Go ahead and talk with people, and tell them what you're doing and what you want to bring to it, and take someone out to lunch someday, meet, just, you got to go ahead and start putting the feelers out, but just don't wait for things to be perfect. It's never going to be perfect. One of the things that I did last summer is when I go on vacation, I try to get me some audio books to listen to in the car so I don't have to hear my kids screaming. So I normally focus on trading books and stock market books and things of that nature. But last summer, I focused on personal development type books, and where it was basically saying, hey, don't be afraid to ask people to pay you for the expertise that you have. And I had always had a problem with that, of asking people to pay me for my expertise. And the book allowed me to, I wish I could tell you what it was. I may look when one of you are talking toward the end of the day and see what was on my reading list. But it was basically saying, don't be afraid to invest in yourself and to ask people to provide payment to you for a service or product that you provide them. So all of you in here have some skill that you could outsource and do something to make someone else's life better. And believe it or not, they would compensate you for that. I just don't want you to wait until you are in a perfect situation for that to happen, because the perfect situation is never going to happen. And 5 and 10 years are going to go down, and you will have never started your little side hustle or your business. So perfection is the enemy of just good enough. And, you guys live in a country that is the greatest opportunity anywhere on the planet to start your own business or side hustle. So since we're picking on Kaylin, first of all, you talked about community college, you talked about real estate, any other businesses that you and your husband are thinking about, anything that that you're thinking that you could get into or interested in?
So I've kind of just dropped him because he's
oh my gosh, you just dropped him, and he didn't do it. What did he do to you? You just cut him loose, girl. You cold-blooded.
He insists on re-enlisting, so I'm done trying to make plans with him. Okay. So that was kind of my big step, was separating myself from him and doing this myself. But Yeah, I think I've mentioned before that I'm into tax strategy. So
Yeah.
I'm also working on getting my enrolled agent license or certification or whatever that is.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's kind of my whole, I guess, foundation is I'm I'm in the business of teaching people who want to learn, which was really what separated me from K through 12 was they only want to learn because they have to be there. And that's even a stretch at that point. So I want to focus more on like young adults or just adults that missed that gap altogether in learning finance. But yeah, the best way that I thought I could do that was with tax strategy and financial planning, maybe a little bit of estate planning, probably nothing that Katie does, but just, hey, I know a person, here you go, kind of thing. But that's kind of my personal hobby, I guess, is I feel like people should be educated in that. But yeah, then real estate would be more of the income portion, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. But
yeah,
it's fine to have several things. That's good too. Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, it's okay. But yeah, nothing really, I don't know, I guess extravagant. Just work for my computer and do my thing.
Yeah, and for those of you that are taking this class that want to be financial planners, I mean, that is being your own business, right? I mean, for a lot of you. Now, you may work for someone else, but really you're developing your own business, your own book of clients. So anyone going into financial planning is basically going to be your own business. So that's cool. Okay. So, okay. Hey, since I can see Juwan now, Juwan, share with us. Come on now. We're talking business today. What is the obstacle preventing you from doing your thing?
I honestly would not say that there is an obstacle in my way right now. I have been slowly strategically been positioning myself to be able to create the things that I want by utilizing the knowledge that I've been gaining from class. Can you guys hear me okay?
Okay.
Yeah. And so I'm actually in the process of beginning to actually start to kind of build out the things that I want and begin to kind of conduct a little bit of market research and start actually, talking to the community of individuals that I'm looking to get involved with from a variety of perspectives.
And is this from a financial planner type thing that you're wanting to do, Juwan? Is that what your business?
Yes, that is correct. I would love to work with the unions here that we have in the United States, specifically for artists, both the Actors Guild as well as what's called AGMA, which is the representative for ballet, modern, opera companies, as well as some theater companies, and I even think a couple orchestras, just to be able to help ensure that they have access to financial literacy topics or financial retirement planning tools, as well as overall basic understanding of their finances, because in case you didn't know, they are actually one of the largest contributors to our economy in the arts. And the fact that artists are the one things that kind of get crapped on here in this country, because as a government and as the institution, we don't actually value art and see the way that it enhances people's lives. So I kind of want to begin to do something along that nature to be able to shift that narrative.
And what a great thing to focus on the people in the arts. For example, I wanted to be a music educator when I came out of high school. That was my thing, right? I wanted to be a band director of all things. That's what I really love. I love playing the trumpet. I love being around bands and orchestras and all that. And I wanted to do that. And how sad that I abandoned that strategy. Do you know why I abandoned it? Because of money. It was not until I got out of high school that my band director, I think I've told you this story, that my band director told me, and I had no idea. He's like, listen, if we had not had a pond in the back of our property, there would have been days my family would have not had anything to eat had I not caught a catfish. And I'm like, dude, you're telling me this now when I'm enrolled in music education classes? So I immediately cut the music education and said, crap on that. I'll go into business, right? I'll get me some skills because I didn't want to have to catch a catfish to feed my family. And so it would have been great for someone to say, hey, wait a minute, on a band director's salary, Bobby, you actually could make it. You just got to live beneath your means, maybe develop a side hustle or two, teach music classes, do individual instruction for students above and beyond what you do, for the band, and make it. But I didn't have anyone in my life that told me that. So it's good that, because it's horrible to think that there would be musicians and actors and dancers out there who go, well, I can't pursue my passion because I'm not going to be financially secure. And that you could actually show them, well, listen, there is a way if you'll just keep things simple. Don't try to keep up with the Joneses and put your money into long-term index funds. And so you'd be helping a great group of people. So that's great, Juan. So you're already starting to make contacts. And where are you as far as your education and getting where you need to be? Where are you?
Yeah, so I graduate May of next year.
Mm-hmm.
So this will be, class number 4 completed once the end of the month hits. And I actually just started a new job. I'm in day 2 of it, as an associate financial planner here at the organization I work for.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So I'm already kind of leveraging the financial planners around me and the tools to be able to dive a little bit deeper, to be able to simplify it for individuals. I'm also utilizing one of the classes, the needs assessment planning and evaluation, that we offer here for an elective, to be able to actually start kind of piecemealing together what it actually looks like to collect the market research data and be able to address the very specific needs and desires that exist within that market. And then going from there, I have a couple connections throughout the dance community, both here in America and outside, because of course I think outside is valuable to understand kind of the differences that exist, to be able to then shape the view of what we have here, because essentially America's crap and everyone wants to go and dance outside of the country because security. But yeah, so that's kind of my positioning to continue moving forward.
And I don't know if you have the inclination to do so, but because you were in dance, you have an ability to create a side hustle or a business if you wanted by teaching dance as well, right? I mean, is that something that, I know a lot of times you said, no, I'm out of that, but I don't know. That's something that certainly you could pursue if you needed to or wanted to.
Yeah, no, I did that I just stopped teaching last year once I accepted this job and started going to grad school. But I've actually taught since I was 16 years old. I was on guest faculty at university. I choreographed on ballet companies. I've toured all over, up and down the East Coast and Texas, teaching, and it's something that I absolutely love. I still act as a guest choreographer and guest coach at certain places where I would literally come in for a period of time, do what I do, and then walk away and collect some really nice money, and it's great.
There you go. Great.
So I still have it incorporated a little bit. It's just where my interests lie now. It's not as much in the studio from an artistic standpoint, but from a artistic support position to be able to then empower the artist. So that's kind of the angle that I'm taking.
Speaking of which, isn't it amazing how you move through these different stages of your life, that there are different, passions and things, as far as you performing to supporting performers. It's amazing how things kind of shift, right? You probably envisioned yourself at some point always a performer till your dying day, and it's just strange. It's interesting how we change in life, and our interests change, but it's wonderful that you're still kind of in a related field, even though you're doing financial planning for those people. So very good, very good. And it seems like you have no obstacles that are standing in your way. You don't have the fear of having to be perfect before you get there. And so kudos to you. Okay, Isabel, let's go with you. Not saying that you have to have a business or anything, but what's your plan if you do?
My
Also,
plan
I just
is
want to
to
say
graduate.
really quickly,
Yes.
I love that. I will have to drop in a couple of minutes because
Okay.
I have a meeting at 2:00. I just
Sure.
didn't want you to think that I'm rude and just like ignoring and just, oh, Isabel's talking, let me leave. Like, no, that's not the case at all.
Hey, you got a new job. We're excited for you, and you just go bust it. Good, Juwan. Wonderful. Okay, Isabel, tell us about you.
My plan is just to graduate.
Now,
That's
your
the
graduation is December?
only thing.
Is that December?
No, I should be graduating May of next year.
May of next year. Which one? Y'all both be walking at the same time. Make sure you walk. Okay. Come to Alabama and walk and do the whole thing. Okay.
Oh, I'm most definitely doing that.
Oh, Kaylin, it's going to be me too as far as May. Look at you guys.
Yay.
Okay. Got a bunch of May graduates next year. Okay, good. All right. So your thing is focusing on graduating, right? Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. So no side hustles, nothing in the business world. I mean, give us your future plan though. You graduate, then what? We're going to push you a little bit. What are you doing? You don't have to do anything, but that's fine. What's your plan?
I'll probably just find a job, really. I don't really have a plan after that.
Okay. But I'm supposing
I think I'll probably just work for an employer after I graduate. But
well, listen, and being your own business person is not for everyone, right? It's not for everyone.
No, I've tried doing my own thing a couple of different times, being my own boss, and I just don't have a niche for it.
Okay, no problem with that. But you think you're going into this program to become a certified financial planner? Is that kind of the goal, or?
I don't know if I want to become certified, but maybe just work for like a bank or an insurance company or something like that. Maybe even going into like a title company or something. I really don't know what I want to do. I just kind of want to keep my options opened.
Okay, I like that. And not knowing what you want to do, that's fun too. You're exploring though. At least you're doing something to explore. So I love that. Hey, Isabella, can you speak?
Yes, I can.
Hey, Isabella, what's your dream?
I'm kind of with Isabel right now. Like, I'm really just trying to graduate, but I think when I'm done with school, I really want to get certified to become a financial planner, and even maybe like see if I could work in like asset management more than just financial planning. So we'll see.
Okay, asset management. So where are you as far as your graduation and all that? Tell us your story.
So I actually graduate in December of this year. I kind of graduated undergrad early, and then I'm trying to kind of mash this program in with my last year of like this. I'm in my 4th year right now of college, so I'm just gonna try to get as much education as I can get done, and then I'm getting married, and I think after that it's time for me to kind of move on and go get a job somewhere. So, and my dad works in the business, and I think my ultimate goal would to be to work with him. I really admire him, and I feel like I've learned a lot from him throughout my life. So I think that's really where I want to end up. The hard thing is he's across the country, so it's just a matter of time and experience of getting over there. So we'll see.
So are you telling me that you got your undergraduate and you'll get your graduate in 4 years? Is that kind of what your whole deal?
It'll end up being about 4.5, but I actually play soccer at the university. So I'm like helping getting my school paid for. So I was just trying to mash in as much stuff as I possibly could.
Oh, so you must be a pretty good soccer player, huh?
I don't know about that. I mean, I also got like some academic money, but yeah, it's just been like a great experience. So I've really enjoyed the whole like academic and athletic combination of everything.
Excellent. And you pushing through, I mean, with both degrees in such a short period of time, you must be a really go-getter. That's good. Well, talking about business and developing business, do you see your financial planning career, asset management, as being under an organization for the majority of the time, or do you see yourself with your own separate business? I kind of like to know what your kind of future looks like with that.
I kind of want my own business, but so what my dad does is he kind of has like his own business, but he's like under Cetera. So that way he doesn't like necessarily have to, I'm pretty sure how it works is you don't really have to like pay for all like the regulation and everything. You're kind of like under them, but not under them. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I think I'd want to do something like that, but I really think I'd want to be more like on my own than under like a specific organization and have to like adhere by all like a bunch of rules and everything.
Mm-hmm. Well, and two, another thing, I mean, if you're just saying, we talk about income and all of that, side hustles, business, I mean, I would think that you just saying, oh, well, I play soccer for the University of Alabama. I mean, I would think you could get some side hustles going with teaching lessons and things of that nature.
Oh my gosh, that's funny. We were actually talking about that yesterday because we put on like a lot of camps here, and I mean, we get paid like a little bit to work them, but one of my friends the other day was like, well, this is a business. Like we did individual lessons, like we make a lot of money for like per hour. So I don't know. It's just interesting to see. But yeah, if you put your name, well, especially with all the NIL stuff, if you put your name out there, you can definitely make a decent amount of money.
Oh yeah, I'd put myself on the billboard. I mean, think about it. What you do is like, let's say little Bobby was back in school playing soccer, little fat Bobby, and I'm terrible. And you see this mama and them, and they bring little fat Bobby to the soccer field, and he's terrible. I mean, can you imagine if you came up in your University of Alabama soccer team uniform and say, hey, you know what? I play soccer for Alabama. I give lessons. I mean, can you imagine if you had little business cards printed up or something, give them to the little parents of the little fat kids? I mean, that'd be great.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. Actually, a lot of girls do that even after they've graduated. Like when they're pursuing their graduate degrees, they'll just do that as a side hustle. And I mean, it definitely keeps them afloat. So
I mean, you could even, I mean, Isabella, I mean, I'm getting excited for you just thinking about it. I mean, you need to get a photographer. I'm sure that you got some friends, they're amateur photographers or something, to get like some cool action shots of you on the field. You can start your own little Instagram or your little TikTok, and you could create a whole community around soccer instruction. I mean, you could do little videos, you could post them to YouTube, you could post them to TikTok. I mean, think about all the stuff that you could do with that. I mean, it's kind of cool.
Yeah, it is cool. The hard thing is I'm not a big social media person, and I don't like to necessarily put myself out there that much, but it's really interesting because some of my friends are like really big Instagram, TikTok, or that kind of thing. And like the amount of like attention they've gotten and NIL deals and everything, it's crazy what you can do if that's what you really want to do. So
if you're not, let's say that that's a weakness of yours, right? Mm-hmm. So what you could do is work with somebody that has a strength in that area that could help you with that, right? Mm-hmm. So that, you help them. I mean, maybe there's people out there, or a parent of somebody or a kid that's really great at social media, but they suck at soccer and they want to be good at soccer. I mean, think about, it's just a matter of you connecting with people, but the sky's the limit with your soccer instruction business. I feel like we've got you in business today.
Oh my gosh, maybe. The other way I look at it too, though, is like, I have such a big network of people now. Mm-hmm. That even for financial planning, that'll be really like important later on in life. So I don't know. There's just like so many avenues that like playing soccer here and like that has brought me. So I'm very grateful for that.
That's awesome. Maybe you could drive over to Auburn and teach them how to play soccer.
Oh my goodness.
I'm just joking. Well, that's great. That is wonderful. So you're going to graduate in December. Okay, wonderful. You got a future. You got wonderful things. This is great. Mm-hmm. All right, Ed, are you listening or are you doing something else? What's Ed doing? Let's see if Ed's here. He's probably not paying attention. I'll have to text him or something. Ed, press your space bar to talk. Ed's like 85 years old. He's given up on all his dreams. No, Ed's my friend, y'all. That's why I'm picking at Ed. So I'm not picking him. All right. So you guys all have a plan. Being your own boss and doing your own thing is really, really kind of fun. So, I worked in a cubicle for 30 years before I retired. And now, teaching in Alabama, teaching coaching with trading, all those kind of things is a lot of fun to me. And I get to trade, and I take that live every day. The thing I like about trading is that I don't have to have an office. Well, I've got a little office here, but I don't have to have an office. I don't have to have a clerical staff. I don't have to have administrative staff, HR. It's just me with 3 monitors, couple lights, a camera, a microphone. And, it's cool. And I can trade wherever I go. I don't have to have an office. I don't have a physical inventory that I keep. So there's really, as long as I have an internet connection in my mobile phone, then I can trade from anywhere. And I can teach other people how to trade from anywhere, which is really kind of cool, because a lot of times when I'm at the gym, I'm on a coaching call with somebody. I'll be on the bicycle, and I'm coaching someone. So it's really good. So use some of your passions, some of the things that you like to do in order to create additional income, and invest in yourself. Invest in yourself. And that's what you guys have done by taking this class and by taking this program at the University of Alabama. You have invested in yourself. You really have. Any questions at all about entrepreneurship, about starting your own side hustle, being your own boss? Any questions that you guys have about that, or you would like to discuss? Because I want you to do it. Isabel, she doesn't want to do it, that's fine. But for those of you that do, do it. Y'all extraordinarily quiet. Okay. Let's talk a couple of things. Let's talk about the Ray Dalio all-weather portfolio. For those of you that went over that, who's completed that assignment yet? Anybody that's here? Okay, Isabel, let's talk about the Ray Dalio all-weather portfolio.
That article was so long.
I know you said that you had the attention span of a squirrel. I did not read
all of it. I scanned it and picked in the pieces that I wanted to read.
And know what I love, Isabel, is that you have the confidence to tell me that. That's what I love, is the honesty. Look, dude, this is too long. I can't possibly read the whole thing. I love that,
Well, and I just have an attention span of a squirrel. I think I put that in there too.
Yeah.
I just this book is way better than the last book that we were reading.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This book is way better. It keeps my attention, where the other book was, I was kind of I had it audio as well, and it was just kind of I'd fall asleep sometimes.
That's fine.
But this article, I just kind of picked the pieces that I wanted to kind of explore on. And what I got from it was basically he's picking certain parts of what he wants to invest in, so that if one thing goes down, the others will kind of keep him afloat and not make him lose as much money. I don't know if that's correct or not, but that's what I got from it. And then the other portfolios that we had been talking about was basically putting all of our money either one in stocks or index funds, and then maybe buying just a little bit of things of bonds and other little assets. But I guess it comes with time and where you're at. If you're really aggressive and you have a lot of time, or if you're in your retirement stage and you want to kind of keep your money safer. So that's what I pulled out of that in his all-weather type portfolio.
So of all the different types of portfolio allocations that we've discussed so far this semester, which one stands out to you? Which one kind of appeals to you most?
I would say in my stage, I would want to be more aggressive. So I would put like this maybe like 60-40 or 70-30. So 70 going into mutual funds or index funds. And then the rest of it kind of being more like CDs or whatnot.
Okay. That's kind of even conservative. So, okay. Yeah. Good. All right. So good. Yeah. And that's what the all-weather portfolio is. It's got a little bit of something for everybody, right? And to withstand different market conditions. So I wanted to give you guys something that was a little different, that was a little more diversified. I didn't want you to leave this class and go, oh my God, all he ever talked about was options or the S&P 500. I want you to know that there are other things out there and other assets that you can invest in. Certainly, one of the things that I believe, and don't shoot me for this, but diversification is overrated in my opinion. So I don't want to be in 10 different asset classes. I love being in the S&P 500, but that's for me. That's my risk tolerance, right? So I think that's plenty of diversification for me and for where I am in my stage of life at 52 years old. I just love being in the S&P 500 or trading around the S&P 500. But for me to invest in 10 different asset classes, I'm going to ultimately underperform the market. Now, I may overperform during a crash or when a big, calamity hits or something. That may be the case, but I'm willing to take the risk. All right, Kaylin, have you completed that assignment yet? I can't remember if you completed it yet.
I did. Yeah. One of the ones I actually completed on time.
Oh, awesome. Tell me about that, Kaylin.
Yeah, look at me go.
You go, girl.
ADD problems, I'm like, ooh, look, squirrel.
Yeah.
But no, I would have to agree a lot with what Isabel said. It was much more lax than Hedgie's fund. He was like, let's make big profits. Let's do it. This one I really like for, a lot of the accounts that you're not trying to just go crazy and grow. You just want something like just to, keep growing, but not like give you, crazy tax swings at the end of the year or something.
And of all the portfolios that we've covered, which one appeals mostly to you?
I guess it would depend on what I'm using it for, but this one probably the most, like more so than Hedgie's, but I don't know. I'm kind of with you at this point. Like SPY's been good to me, so I'm just gonna ride that one out for everything that I want big gains in. But yeah, this one I'm gonna leave it open, not quite shut the door on it. Hedgie's, I pretty much shut the door on that guy, but yeah, I think everything has a time and a place. And this one I can see being a good, I just don't know quite what I'm going to use it for yet.
Sure, I got it. So you may have a hybrid. You may be mostly in SPY, right? And some in a couple of other asset classes. That's fine. You may have a hybrid between the two.
Yeah, kind of how much money I need to have taxed, when I'm in retirement versus how much I don't. So yeah, I got to see what my husband's like. I'm not quite sure how military retirement pay gets taxed. So that's one of the things that I gotta work on before I can start building,
Well, since you love tax and you're kind of the tax nerd of the group, that's a good thing for you to figure out. Yeah, good. All right, Isabella, can you speak on the Ray Dalio all-weather fund?
I have not completed that yet.
Okay, no worries at all. Have now Isabel mentioned the latest book appeals to you more. It's more like a story, right? I wouldn't call it a novel per se, but it's kind of cheesy at times. It's a little dated, right? I mean, they're talking about fax machines and they're talking about mutual funds. I would say wherever they're talking about mutual funds, insert an index fund like VOO and Vanguard or something of that nature. It's a little dated, but Isabel, tell us about what you figured out from the book so far, The Wealthy Barber.
Well, I did a little bit of research on it too, because this one chapter that we're in right now, the planning for retirement, it said that you could only put like $2,000 in your IRA. And I was like,
that's changed.
I feel like that's not right. So I looked that up and it's not. But yeah, I think the way the book is just written is just really, it keeps you like entertained with it. He's got a lot of jokes in there, and I think those are funny.
Yeah. And it's cheesy at times, but I think that kind of is different from the other two books because it tells it in a story format, and it just lets you know that, hey, this is okay, Isabella's got to run. Okay, we'll see you later. It's just a fun book. It's just a fun book, and it keeps things simple. And isn't it amazing that people would never believe that a barber could be a multimillionaire? I mean, it's sad that we live in a country to where people would go, wait a minute, a barber is wealthy? But indeed, that's what we're saying. A band director in the United States could be wealthy if they would just do the things necessary early on and use their greatest available asset, which is their time, to develop wealth, right? You got to stay out of debt. You've got to put away the money. You've got to live on 70 and do something constructive with the 30. And if you can do that, and you say, well, I can't do that as a band director. Okay, you need to be getting side gigs. You need to be playing in orchestras. You need to be playing at weddings. You need to be playing your horn at weddings. You need to do private instructions. You got to do the stuff necessary to get there. So I think we can all do it regardless of what our occupation is.
I know you say not to like pay attention to like TikTok or like, YouTube, or not YouTube, but other like social media advice. But some of the, like, I have a TikTok account, and some of the information that I feel like they put out is kind of valid sometimes. So like one of the short videos was about he said, borrowed money isn't taxed.
That's true.
So yeah, like I feel like that's valid.
Okay. Borrowed money isn't taxed, right? Mm-hmm. So what I could do is, I've got a great credit score. I could go out and borrow, tens of thousands of dollars unsecured. Mm-hmm. I could put it in the stock market, I guess, but also if you lose borrowed money, then boy, that's painful, right? Where you're having to pay back debt that you've lost, and you go, wow, that money's gone. So yeah, I mean, that's an aggressive way to look at it. I really like debt when it comes to investing in a fixed asset like real estate. Yes,
I think
definitely.
That's what I would do as well. Like, I wouldn't borrow money to go put it in mutual funds or index funds, but I would borrow money to buy like an apartment complex or like a condo or something like that to rent out. Absolutely.
Yeah. So leverage is great to do that. Now, wait a minute, Isabel, you said that you would do something like that. That's being your own boss or being in business. Is that something that does interest you?
I think it's mainly because it's kind of like in my brain, I'm playing Monopoly. So I don't want to go out and buy houses that are here and everywhere. I really just, because I have this small little lot here, it's 2 acres, and then I want to buy the lot that's next to me, just so I know how close the building is going to be to my house. And I think the property next door is like a little over, it's just under 2 acres. So I would want to build the house like on the other side of it, so that way I can take over part of that land and redo the line of ownership or whatever.
I hear you. I see you building a real estate empire. I like that. I knew there was some entrepreneurship in you somewhere.
I just want to protect my little piece of pie is all.
You know, Kaylin, you bring up Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Can I tell you that is one of the most horrible books I think I've ever read. I don't know. I just hated it. I know I hate.
Tell me why. I'm reading the third one right now.
I don't know. Maybe
I want to know why.
I don't know. I was just sitting there going, "Oh my God, this is horrible." I don't know. Maybe I need to revisit it. Maybe it was the point of where I was in my life. I don't remember that much about it, but I was going. If this dude can write a book, anybody can write a book. That's kind of what my impression of the book. I was like, I don't know. That was really cheesy.
I like the insight on the different parts of the economy. That was kind of like a light bulb for me. I didn't know how all that worked.
Okay, good. Maybe I need to revisit it. It's been so long since I read it. Maybe I need to go back to that. So, Kaylin, what about The Wealthy Barber? Is The Wealthy Barber speaking to you at all?
Yeah, I listen to all my books on Audible. My dog gets extra long walks, so I finish them pretty quickly. But this one I read before Rich Dad Poor Dad, and I really liked it just because of the way it was set up. I could keep up and not be like, what is this dude talking about? Well, I'm trying to scoop up poop, like miss something. But yeah, it was a lot of definitely outdated numbers, but it's funny how it still applies to now. And I think it's kind of like as a very basic, this is the things you can start learning about finance. That would be an awesome, like basic beginner high school kids, like, let's read this book. Let's learn some things. Obviously they might, have a hard time with the fax machine thing, but.
Yeah. Where you got to fax your broker and things. I mean, it's just crazy. Yeah, some of the things that were in there. But good. Well, I'm glad that book, I left that as our third book because I wanted it to be just a little fun, right? I want it to be something different. All right, so let me share with you about your final exam. So we talked about the Ray Dalio All Weather Portfolio. So by the way, going back to business, one other thing. The napkin test. Can you describe the key elements of your business and put it on the back of a napkin? That's how simple your business plan needs to be, really. If you're going to give someone an elevator pitch, can you fit it on the back of a napkin? And I don't believe in these 50-page business plans and, with all this kind of stuff. Just keep it simple with your business, right? Write it on the back of a napkin. Write it on the 8.5 page, 1 page, your business plan. So going back to business, just keep it simple. I think the simpler, the better. Now, in order to get financing, maybe you have to have a 20-page business plan. I got it if you're going to the bank. But if you're creating a side hustle, you should be able to explain that to someone like you're talking to your mama, right? As we know, explain it in simple terms. What good or service, what problem are you solving? What problem are you solving? And put that on 1 page. So your final exam is just an investment plan. I want to know what your investment plan is. So, it doesn't have to have all of these things, but I think it's kind of cool to go, what's your philosophy, your risk tolerance? I fear nothing. Asset allocation, where are you putting it? How are you going to contribute, right? How often will you rebalance and review it? And so I used Canva, which is a free online design thingy to put this together. And I used the free version to do this. So yours doesn't have to look like mine, but, give me some numbers. What's your beginning balance? What amount are you putting in, weekly or bi-monthly? Is your employer putting in how many years until you retire? Retired age 51. I did. How about that? I met my goal. So how did I do it? I put it in the C fund, the thrift savings plan. So I want you to be able to print this thing out, keep it on your refrigerator, put it on your bathroom mirror, have fun with it, and let it be a guide for your investment journey. So this is more for you guys than for me. All right, anyone got a question on your final exam? It's just this.
So just that one little square, right? We're not typing words and things, making it.
However, if you are more of a word learner rather than a picture learner, then do that. But okay. I think, to me, it was just helpful to see my plan in little bubbles, So just whatever. Make it look as good as you want to.
Is this just an investment goal or is this a retirement?
Like, yeah, you can do it for either, right? If you're like, if you were saving up for a car, you could say, this is my investment plan to save up for a car. But yeah, I think in the scheme of things, we're looking for your FU money. How are you going to get your retirement money when you can leave the cubicle and nobody controls your day? How are you going to get there?
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and this will be kind of fun, right? This will be kind of fun. And, this is something that you can do with your clients along the way, kind of help them develop their investment plan. So just invest come up with your own little plan. And all grace ends on April the 30th. So this is due April 30th. All your assignments are due April 30th. Any questions on any of the assignments? Everything's been posted now. Everything's ready to go. Y'all are good?
I have questions. I'm still working on getting through your dissertation.
Oh, girl, listen, just scan it and, you're fine.
No, I really want to understand it because I saw your video that you posted the other day on Discord that you wrote a dissertation on the VIX hedge fund and you weren't even using it.
Yeah, I wasn't even using
it. So now I'm like, are there more videos that he posted on this? So now I'm like having to go back in. But I want to know what the overall, like, are you just trying to balance your portfolio using it? Is that what the whole idea is?
The whole purpose of the dissertation is to keep me from going out of business. Right? Okay. So if I've got a pool of money that I'm investing in all these options, crazy things that I'm doing, I want to make sure that I survive to live another day. So if we have a COVID crash and the market's down 35% in the span of just a few days or weeks, I want to make sure that I can survive that and come out of it. So the VIX hedge was my search for staying in business. I don't mind the loss. God knows I don't mind the loss. If I'm not trading my options, then I'm 100% in SPY. So if I'm 100% in SPY and the market goes down 35%, I'm down 35% on my portfolio. That doesn't bother me at all. I want to make sure that I don't lose 100% of my portfolio.
Okay. That helps me kind of wrap my brain around what I'm supposed to be picking up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And so what I found in the dissertation was that overall buying puts as protection worked better than the VIX hedge, but the VIX hedge worked better when the protection was most needed. When the house was on fire, the VIX hedge worked better than buying puts, which is what traditionally risk managers do, buy puts to hedge their short options portfolio.
Okay.
Yeah. So all you got to do is go to the last page where it goes to conclusions and or do like Isabel says. She says, look, this thing is too dang long. I'm not reading the whole thing. Are you kidding? So screw this. Oh, me. All right. Great class, y'all. Y'all got any other questions or comments about anything?
I have one question.
Yes.
The Tom Sosnoff webinar that we were supposed to get credit for.
Yes.
Are you going to post those later or did you just miss mine?
Send me an email and tell me what to give you on that. And I'll put it in. Yeah. Just remind me. Okay. I thought I had put everything in your extra points, but maybe I didn't.
No. I mean, I'm over my points. Like I'm over.
Girl, if you get anything less than 8 in this class, something went bad wrong.
I know.
And invariably, will y'all believe this? You won't believe. Well, I don't know. It may not be this class. I've never had a class so far where people are all doing so well. Y'all are done so well. Normally, I would have 2 or 3 students in a class this size that just didn't do anything and will get an F. But not y'all. I think everybody's doing well. So it's really kind of cool to see. All right? Awesome. Yeah, so if I owe you on anything, just email me and I'll get it taken care of.
Okay.
All right, guys. I will see y'all Thursday.